imagine, like legitimately, if they've been watching Daniel Martell on all the online stuff from the very beginning, what they must really think? I know the RCMP is saying that they don't have evidence of foul play. But what do they really think? I mean, come on. Are they that gullible? Are we simply dealing with some team that literally doesn't have the experience? You mean to tell me they don't got red flags all around? Hold on. I got one of the main reasons why I believe that they aren't telling us that they have anything, but I think they do. The question is, what are they waiting for? So we're going to be talking about why I honestly feel, and I think you will too, because it's very well known. It's not questionable. It's not hypothetical. It's a fact. And that fact is, I'm going to share it with you, is why I believe that the RCMP absolutely have to be looking at these individuals as suspects, in my humble opinion. But we are live. I want to say hello to everybody. Welcome back, my beautifuls, to 1111 True Crime. Mama D in the house with you. Hope you like our set. Just something different. Might change it again soon. Hi, Cindy Clark. Hi, Liam. Good to see you. Debbie, Allison, Nikki UK, Scottish Lash, Cheryl Ann, Liam, I'm so excited you won that giveaway, as well as we had another giveaway last night on our first ever live 1111 deck party. And it was a lot of fun. Like, everybody said they had a great time. And everybody wants to do it again, so we probably will. Hello, Carla Lovely and Cindy Clark, Nikki UK, Allison. Good to see everybody. Hi, Zozo, and all my beautiful mods. I greatly appreciate you, and you know I do. All right, you guys, are you ready to dig into this? I want your thoughts. Hi, Liam. I want your thoughts on this. I really, Scottish Lash is here. That was funny because she's the other winner. We gave away some door prizes, and there was a little back and forth because I always call her Scottish Lash. But in the UK, here comes the truth train. That has a whole new meaning. It's funny. Hey, nobody cares. Welcome back. We care. We care. Hey, Allison and Allison Steed and McCann. Good to see you both. You guys were so funny last night. No, I mean, we had a really good time. It was awesome. All good energy. So let's get into this. Lilly and Jack Sullivan are still missing. I repeat, still missing from Nova Scotia, Canada, Lansdowne, Nova Scotia. They were reported missing on May 2nd, but we don't know when they really went missing. We have them on cam, allegedly, that we've never seen, coming out of the Dollarama sometime around 2-ish or 3-ish or something on the day before. The day before. It's always in these cases where the timeline seems all askew, but one fact that we absolutely know is that Daniel, Malaya, and Jamie were the 3 people on the property that day that were adults. There was Baby Meadow too, but we know the 3 were on the property that day that Lilly and Jack Sullivan went missing. We also know that all 3 of them are required to have, well, 2 of them, Malaya and Daniel, are required by law to have supervision to be around their own baby Meadow. At all times when they're around her, they have to be supervised, as if they don't have enough brains to take care of their own child, or they do something that jeopardizes the child's safety. Jamie allegedly can't even see her own grandchildren. Can't even with supervision. They're like, no, even if we're watching you and we're looking right at you, we don't trust you to be around the children. So you have 3 individuals that are not trusted to be unsupervised around their own loving, beautiful, God's gift children. And yet the RCMP on this side of it are talking out this side of their mouth saying, we have no evidence of foul play. Well, what evidence do you have that Meadow's in danger with them? That could possibly, right, lead us to some suspicions as to why these 2 are missing over here. It's just common freaking sense. But does the RCMP really have common sense? Do they really? And that's what I titled this video. Do they really have a God-given common sense that if these people cannot legally be unsupervised around children, then how could you on the other side of your mouth say, well, over here with Lilly and Jack, who completely disappeared, like we have no evidence of these children kind of thing. That's not foul play. Y'all, come on. Come on, right? Scottish lass. I have to say it slow so don't say it wrong. If they are supervised around baby, then they must be under suspicion, surely. And that's my video today. I don't have like a long amount of stuff to show you in the Jack and Lilly case. It's on my mind and on my heart every single day. And when I come to a boiling point where I'm like, this shouldn't be happening and here's why, I'm passionate again, because it's hard to be passionate every day, but I am not giving up on Jack and Lilly. I will never give up on Sebastian Rogers, Jack or Lilly, Summer, Wells. It's just, I've got to understand this. So you've got 3 individuals, 2 of which are having a battle over the baby, and they have to be watched by another adult human being to make sure that the baby is safe, right? That's the whole point of supervised visit, to assure the child's safety. So then how can you guarantee that other children were safe in their unsupervised eye? In other words, 2 children completely go missing and are no longer present and accounted for, and no one is being held responsible. Yet the very same people that were responsible technically and not held accountable for Jack and Lilly going missing, because no matter how you roll the dice today, it comes up snake eyes. They were both laying their butts in bed, and so is Janie. All 3 adults were like, not gonna do any adulting today. We're not gonna take care of our kids. We're gonna lay in this bed and let them do what they want. We know they're up, we can hear them, but we're not gonna do anything. No accountability. So no matter what, they're responsible. Face it. Janie having the foreknowledge that every single day, right? There goes the school bus, tell you something? Every single day that those children come out to play, she has to call Malaya and tell the mother, your kids are out here without a coat. Your kids are out here barefoot, blah, 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 blah. So she knows. That knowledge puts her in the running for responsibility of what happens to those kids. Just the sheer knowledge that the children are unattended for. She chooses to just go lay down anyway, knowing the kids are outside. You know, it's one thing Danielle and Malaya are trying to tell us, we didn't know they were outside. We had no idea. But Janie's like, I knew they were outside. I could hear them on the swing. I laid down. Okay. But yet, no accountability. Yet, then after the kids go missing, there's accountability for something that we don't even see in existence, which is what they did wrong. What is the reasoning that they can't see the baby Meadow, but they're okay and they're basically nothing over here to look at for Lilly and Jack? It doesn't work. You feel me? Terrible. This case has been a poop show since the start. You're right, Liam. You're right. Hello, Marska. Good to see you. Deanne Reiner, good to see you. Good to see you both. Welcome to the channel. Deep Waters. I'm sure Janie got wore down emotionally by Daniel and Malaya. I think that she would be more than willing to protect her boy. Hey, Jennyville. But I agree with you. I think she's in on it. Hey, Diesel Weasel. Welcome back. Howdy to you as well. Zoe, how you doing, love? Good to see you. Susie says, I agree, Liam. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to come on here and discuss. I'm not going to be on here forever and ever and just waste the airtime and your time and my time. But for me, it boils down to, how can you say there's no foul play suspected? It's one thing to say we have no evidence that suggests that the children came to harm. Okay, so they don't have any blood, tears, whatever. I get that. That's the evidence they're lacking. But has the RCMP taken the stance that there's no foul play suspected? Because how could you possibly, like in all your common senseness, even suggest that if the parents have to be watched the entire time that they are in the presence of their own innocent baby girl? You feel me? So I really, really hope that they're working behind the scenes, but we need to hear about it. We need to hear that that's really taking place. We need a press conference. You heard me. We need a press conference that tells us that you're doing something, that you're looking at the situation more thoroughly. I know we'll all complain and say we learned nothing, but at least we will have had some feedback that this is not being treated like a cold case. Yes, you did search. You brought in cadaver dogs. We both know that was way too late in the game. Way too late. Everything's always too late in these unsolvable child crimes because things weren't treated as an investigation into anything criminal from the get-go. It was all about finding that kid as soon as possible. But along the way, you could have had a separate team that was working the investigation so that if it was foul play, all the evidence is then preserved. But what's happening in these missing kids cases, in my humble opinion, is that you guys are treating them as nothing but the possibility that the child walked out, and that's not the world we live in anymore. 90-some billion% of these crimes happen with someone that loves you or is supposed to be a protector, a significant other, whether it be a mother, a father, a husband, a brother, a family member, or a good friend, a boyfriend. Somebody you're supposed to be able to trust is usually at fault. So with 90 billion% headed that direction, you guys started off your investigation into the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case running on a less than 10% chance that the children would be found in the woods. And that's because they knew the woods would get searched. They counted on it. And so those kids, in my humble opinion, are not in the woods. And that's why they can pass a lie detector and say they're not in the woods. Also, there are many ways that you can pass a lie detector. And if they were all reliable, we'd have them in court. Scottish Lass says I'd be searching every day. Well, the lack of 1,000 things that they haven't done. But mostly, can you imagine, just hear me for a minute, what the RCMP would have to believe in order for them not to have any suspicion of Daniel, Malaya, or Janie? They literally have to believe that these kids 411'd out of here. Aliens. Because they're not abducted, right? No abduction. They just absolutely know that to be true. How? I have no idea. Number two, they've done this huge search. Now, hold on a minute, y'all. Let's really look at the circumstance. And I'm just going to talk directly to the powers that be in the investigation. You had a four-year-old in a pull-up that allegedly would have walked far enough out of your couple hours to get out of your search area. You don't think that pull-up would have come off at any point? You think that these kids are lost for 2 days in the woods and none of them poop? They're old enough to take the poop out of their pants and, someone would smell it. Dogs would smell it. I'm not trying to be gross. I'm trying to tell you how you would have found these kids if they were in those woods. There'd be feces. There'd be disturbed ground. You can't go through the woods without disturbing it. So if the kids are not in the woods and they're not abducted, how can you not think of foul play? You leave absolutely zero options. It's almost as if it's an unsolvable puzzle and therefore you're not going to be able to solve it. Not with the view you're taking. But if you look at the statements that Daniel has made online, and whether you take them at face value or whatever, they are contradictory. He clearly has told the media, not just social media, but mainstream media, that he was on the four-wheeler all day. All the places that you have found evidence, Daniel was there right before you. And remember, he stayed ahead of even the helicopters. Those are his words, not mine. His own children have told CPS that they knew or witnessed him treating the two children, Lily and Jack, wrongly. His own children. You saw the condition of the yard. We all did. Nasty ass mattress laying out there, kind of curled up on the side of the trailer. Broken appliances. You think this was a loving environment for children? Obviously not, because you have Meadow in CPS or whatever you call children's custody. So when it really comes down to it, the RCMP only basically leave one option that they haven't said. And that's that somebody else was on the property, or it wasn't Daniel or Malaya, but maybe they suspect the grandmother, the one that allegedly dragged Jack through the woods. When was that? I practically had to carry Jack through the woods. When did you do that? You've got your own property and a lot of it. Could you listen to that screaming every day? These are haunting words from a step-grandma that had given up her placement of sleep and was living in a little break-bad camper. And she had daily resentment. She said it in everything she said about these children. I thought he was just calling for Jackie because Jackie likes to get into my chicken pen all the time and let my chickens out. Right? Resentment. Bugs. All he liked was bugs. All he did is bugs. I'm not being funny. These are the things that ring through my mind. These aren't funny statements. These are resentful. These are hateful. And these children are still missing. she was the last one to hear those children alive. So, I held Jackie in my lap. He flung his arms around like he was swimming or a bird or something. See what I'm saying? She didn't like the hyper stuff. I like my peace. I like it quiet. My dog's hair's falling out. She's my number one suspect because she threw shade on Malaya and said and started the whole rumor that these children were put into a car by the mother and sent out onto a reservation. That was Janie that got Darwood all heated up, and Darwood come out here, and yes, I know it's a different word, a different name, whatever. Grady's come out here, and boy, he iced that cake so thick. And it took a while for him to tell us that it was Janie. But Janie twisted it and said, no, it was Durwood that made her see the light. Durwood wasn't there, Janie. You're reversing the story. You told this to Durwood. In my humble opinion. So you've thrown shade toward Malaya. You're not going to throw shade towards your son. But when did you drag Jack into them woods? Because you're the only one that couldn't take a polygraph. You're the only one that never passed a polygraph. Never had to answer if you hurt those kids. Never had to answer if it was you. Are you the wicked old witch that went out there and Hanseled and Greteled that little trail to your ex's house, which led right to Daniel's dad's? How convenient for the kids to go missing on your watch, no less, because you're the one that didn't call Malaya, and that's your job every day. You've admitted it. That's your responsibility that you verbally claimed. And these are children. You had resentment and wanted Malaya out of there. And I don't think you were that into Meadow either, because you've never referred to Meadow as your grandbaby. It's always my grandchildren this and my grandchildren, the ones that built the fort, the ones I can't see on the 9th birthday. But no, it's like Jack and Lily aren't important to you. You don't need pictures. I see them every day. If ever there was a classic casebook of hatred and jealousy because they're living in that house, could you listen to that scream every day? These are all things that suggest she may have taken action to get her own peace of mind. You feel me? And Clover Bliss says Lily was also a screamer. That I'm sure didn't go over well with Janie. Right? So maybe Daniel and Malaya didn't know what to think at first. Like, where are the kids? I'm just asking. Let's hypothetically watch this for a minute. See how this works out. I can't go to town today. Not with my brother. I'm going to lay down and play Team U. And say, yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Team U. How closely was your phone looked into to see how long were you scrolling on Team U? Or did you have the app open while you were gone? Very excellent points. I agree. In our opinion, Allison says resentment, jealousy, and needing control. Maybe you guys, there was somebody that Janie had come pick up those kids. Because listen, Diesel Weasel, love you, hun. Either the tire tracks or dragging marks from the chem lab up in the little building beyond the ladder. Or what if it was somebody that she put the kids in the car with? What if there was no Malaya putting kids in the car? What if it was Janie, who knew some bad people that would just get him out of her hair? I'm just saying. She covered up somebody's tire tracks, in my humble opinion. So who came to that property that they wanted those tire tracks covered? Well, y'all aren't going to like me. But could it be one of Daniel's friends that they share? Oh, goodness, I don't know who that could be. But he involved himself in this case in the thick of it. And he suggested that the whole story of that was true, that them kids were put into a car. And he could believe it 100%. But where did they really go? I don't think the res. I don't know, though. Hey, Joni, how you doing, lovely? I was packing your order last night. I got it all ready for shipping for tomorrow. Oh, that could be too. Diesel Weasel brings up, or maybe they're removing some spillage, then rake. Isn't that weird? Diesel Weasel says Janie even controlled the garbage bags. Think about that little piece of blanket. And Janie even tells us she knew the blanket was in there because she saw Daniel put it in there. Daniel says that blanket of Lily's that they found tied up in the tree was in the bottom bag, in the bottom of the box at the end of their driveway that holds her garbage. You would have to know, I've said all along, that that blanket was in the bottom. What'd she do? What did she do? Did she walk those kids or use the four-wheeler to take those kids over and tie us something up there? Say, come get these kids. I left them where you'll see Lily's blanket hanging out of the tree. I just can't cope with these kids. Could you listen to that scream? I mean, get them off my property. I just can't do this anymore. Could that have been a conversation? And is the reason her brother didn't come over that morning to take her to town because it already happened much earlier. It makes you wonder, right? Mazda Smith says, yeah, because Janie would have peace and quiet from Lily if they were at school. Perhaps she flipped. The blanket really gets me. Me too, Denise. Me too. Joni, I'm so excited for you to get your order. It's looking great. You're going to be so excited to open that box. It's beautiful. The way I've laid it all out. You're just going to have to see. You're going to love it. Liam says all the trash dumped in the garden, but a blanket had been put in the bin. Yeah, dodgy. Yes. Think about it, Diesel. We've all said, everybody, even Daniel has said the RCMP says that blanket is planted. Wouldn't it be just the likes of an ex-partner if they wanted to pin a crime on someone and the ex lives that close? To pin the problem on the ex and go tie that blanket on their property? And plant all the evidence towards your exes? I told you, Earl and Jamie, can you see them married? It's mind-boggling to think of them two in the same kitchen. What Justin and Daniel must have been looking at. Well, dag nabbit! I come in the house and here it is, everybody's sitting around not doing nothing. I'm out here changing the tire on your school bus. Oh, shut up. We're so sick of hearing how hard you work, Earl. You haven't done much around here for a couple weeks. I'm doing dishes. Jeez. And 2 kids sitting there listening to that? Well, don't you know that had to be a real fun divorce, right? So at some point, does Jamie not only have resentment toward Jack and Lily, but does she also have a lot of resentment towards Earl? What you gonna do about it? Can you see him in her face? I bet she did get to the point she wanted peace and quiet. Did she also have resentment toward her ex? And that's why all the evidence of the children is over there. Oh yeah. How nifty. What a nice little package that all is. So when the RCMP are saying they don't have evidence of foul play, okay. But I sure hope to God that they don't ever come out and say they don't suspect foul play. Because what reason is it that Malaya, Daniel, and Janie cannot see Baby Meadow unsupervised? I don't think Janie can even see any of the kids, even with supervision. That's even a lot scarier. We don't even trust you with our eyes on you around these kids. You feel me? So if she's not safe to be around her own grandchildren, why is she not the prime suspect when she's the last one to lay eyes on Jack and Lily? Or should I say, lay ears on them? But at one point, she said, I swear to God, I laid my own eyes on them that morning. She never said it again. Because I think that slipped. And I think that was the one true statement that Janie really did make. And that's why Daniel can be asked if he hurt them kids or if he did anything to them that took their life. And he would pass. But Janie can't take a polygraph because of her health. I don't think so. I don't buy it. She's my number one suspect in the Jack and Lily case. Mazda says Janie could have pre-planned it as there was no school on Wednesday, in my opinion. Thank you, love. Liam says, yeah. The deep voice. Passion Flower says Janie hates everyone and everything. Just ask. Well, and I'm not trying to be funny. Think about, it's okay if you laugh, but you get my point. When someone is saying, could you listen to that scream every day? She had plans not to listen to that scream every day. That's what she's saying. She's justifying why she doesn't have guilt. I bet you Justin was bawling because he's like, Mom, you're going to go to jail. I'm going to lose my mommy. She's going to go to jail. We're going to have to help We're going to have to help hide her. We're going to have to cover for her. Daniel, you got to be Superman. You got to be the man of the family. I can't do this. You got to protect Mom. Scottish Lass says that poor wee innocent baby girl caught up in all of this. Thank God she's too small to understand. Good to see you, Marlene Ring, and I hope you do come back for replay. Yeah, all she did is rake the gravel, Dragonfly lover. A polygraph would cause any issues for one with heart condition I'm researched. Let me just see if a heart condition, it might, it could actually, it won't hurt the person, but it could give a very inaccurate reading. Let's go look and see. Let's see what it says. Does a heart condition affect a polygraph? I lost my little AI button. That's weird. I feel like this is a weird browser or something. So, arrhythmia does. It depends on the heart condition. Let me see where it said that. Hypertension, arrhythmia, and tachycardia have the potential to influence the outcome of poly examinations. So it's going to depend on where you live, what country, state, all that. But what disqualifies you from taking a polygraph? There's actually a lot. There's a lot of things. I'm surprised more criminals don't look this up. I'm not even going to give it out. That way I don't give them no ideas. Yeah. It's because what's being measured, right? Passion Flower brings up, remember, Jenny cried, and daughter said, "It's not your fault, Mom." I remember hearing that. Hey, she is letting it be known how irritated she was by the kids every day. Grass Monster, hello, lovely. Makes a lot of sense, but why would Jack and Lily's mother cover for Janie? What if she's not covering for Janie? What if Malaya just is suspicious of them? Like found that blanket and was like, that's Lily's blanket. And Daniel tried to say, no. But then Malaya's like, yes, it is Lily's blanket. And she was like, gone. You have to ask. Children and grandchildren are a blessing. That's true. Right. Diesel Weasel, I think that's it. They can't get a baseline because the arrhythmia, it's too all jumbled up, I would say. Snow Feathers says, Super Daniel, we've had enough of your theatrics. It's been far too long. Where are Lily and Jack? Janie without headphones is torturous. With headphones is a burst eardrum. That's true. All right, you guys. All right. That's my rant for the day, you guys. Liam says, say Jack did pass away due to something, then I think Lily would have been taken away due to speaking out. Agreed. I want to know what the RCMP actually really believe. That's what I really want to know. And how in the world? Yeah, what has Malaya shared with the RCMP? That's another thing I want to know. Scottish Lass says, are Danielle and Malaya even pushing RCMP on this? What the chuff and are they doing? Thank you, Zozo. Yeah, make sure and check out our shop. We had our Level 11 Dex party last night. Was a blast, like a complete success. It was a lot of fun. I even got some orders out of it, but just the whole thing was a blast. Really, really enjoyable. Yeah. Diesel says, anyone else notice in the CBC interview with Kayla how Daniel's voice dropped when he asked, where are they? It really does make you wonder. It really does. All right, my lovelies. I have so appreciated you today. We're going to get together very shortly over on the other channel, Crime Story Mama. If you'd like to join us, you are invited. Could Jack have got into the RV and taken something? Could be Mazda. I know, Scottish, you won. That was like so full circle. It came right back to you, love. That was amazing. It was a good time. A lot of people showed up too. Over 350 total people showed up for our little party. That was incredible. Allison says it was so great fun. Aw, thank you, lovely. Yeah, they could have, Mazda. They could have. Thank you, Denise, and I'll see you all very soon. I love you. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, hype up the video after it's done. And I'll see you again very soon. Love you. To the moon